Nick Sirianni Live, presented by Premier Orthopedic.
Ready.
Nick, did you want to bring Isaiah Rodgers back?
Obviously, when you have the success that we were able to have last year, you want to, it's hard to say bye to guys. It's always hard to say bye to guys, but that's the reality of this business that, guys' contracts are up. You can only get so many of them back. And that's what makes this league so great, the parity of within this league. So, all our guys, when you go through special things with them, you have a connection with all the guys. So you hate to see any of them leave.
So that's a yes.
You got it. What I said. Yeah.
How do you think he's playing out there?
Yeah, I think, as we watch tape on him, I see, he's doing some really good things. We'll have to be aware where he is on the football field, on special teams and also on defense because he has a knack for the football.
Heard a couple guys say that the focus is on doing their job and not worrying about anybody else's. Is that coming from you? And if so, why is that an important message?
Oh, that's got to be, for any of us to succeed in our job, we have to worry about ourselves and not focus on other things. I think that's something we always talk about is, there's a lot of outside distractions. There's distractions, right? And that could be with successes, that could be with failures. And if you let yourself kind of get into things that you can't control or are important, one or the other, or both, then all you're doing is, limiting yourself at playing the best football or coaching your best football that you can do. And so I think that's just really important for all of us to know is to lock in and focus on what we have to do because it's within, you guys have heard me say this a million times, it's within the process of your week that puts you in a state to play a good game and get you ready to play a good game. And so, I love that because I think that's always been our mindset here.
Is there a decision to effectively bench someone, right? To pull somebody. How do you decide that's the time? And when I say a young player, how do you know that you'll be able to get that guy back at some point?
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of things, in my seat that you'd love to, like I have 1,000 to-do lists and hey, if this happens, whether it's offensive football, whether it's head coaching stuff, whether it's special teams, defense situations, if this happens, you do this, or if that happens, but there's also a lot of there's also a lot of things that there aren't a handbook on, and you may not have, you try to think through literally everything you can to have a plan. And plans can go different ways, right? You can take this road, you can take this road. And so everything's a little bit different. And so I can't tell you I have, a handbook for that. Like I said, every scenario is a little bit different, but I do know this, that you need everybody on the football team to accomplish your goals. And guys constantly go through ups and downs. Coaches constantly go through ups and downs throughout the season. So again, it always goes back to, can you have that dog mentality, that dog mindset, that, that mindset to just be in the moment, continue to, get better. And when I say get better, it's identifying issues. It's, identifying, things that are going well, and then just put your head down and get better through the work. And so, and knowing that regardless of who that is, you'll need all the guys, throughout the course of a season.
When you do face adversity as a team, what are some signs you look for during the week to get an idea that things are going to get better?
How the work's going, how practice is going, like, because we can all have different things on our minds, and we're all going to have different things on our minds. But when you get in and you're in the moment of practice, and you're in the moment of meetings and walkthrough, do you sense that we're completely locked in and busting our ass to get as good as we possibly can? That's the same thing in coaches meetings as well. And that's why that mindset's so important, to be able to, eliminate things that could distract you from your goal. Whether that is the adversity that you're going through or outside noise or inside noise, whatever it might be, is eliminating those distractions to to focus completely on what you need to do and the task at hand.
And what have you noticed in that respect this week?
Yeah, I feel like we've had 2 really good practices. I felt like Monday's meeting, where we came in and watched the tape, was really locked in, focused, felt great energy all week. And like, this is the reality of NFL football. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. It hasn't been a team that win them all since 72, right? So this is the reality of it. It's like, I remember talking to Devontae when he first got here, and we had some lulls we had that lull at the beginning of the season. And it's like, hey, you won almost every game when you're at Alabama. That's how I felt like when I was at Mount Union. But it's that's not reality of this sport, right? There's really good players and really good teams all over the place. If you could any game, if the ball bounces a certain way and you don't play the way you're capable of playing, you can lose. And so it is. It's just the realities of this business, and our job is to do everything we can do in the week to prep ourselves, to put ourselves in the best position to play our best and win that football game.
Nick, do you view it then, the getting back on track, mostly as we need to work sharper, we need to work better, we need to get back to kind of these emotional and tangible things you seem to be talking about, as opposed to a change in strategy on offense or defense?
I don't think that the answer has to be one or the other, right? I think that the answer is yes to both. We got to continue to get better in all cases. And that's what you're doing throughout the course of a year. To say it's just one or the other, it's football. So it's going to be those things the entire year. You're constantly trying to figure out what you do well, how you scheme it, your work process, because all of those things change throughout the year. Obviously, things that you do well might change as the year goes on, as teams plan for that. And then as you're tired and the dog days of a NFL football season, being locking in and being sharp. But I will say this: it's always going to be about, we talk about detail an awful lot. And you're trying to play and coach, and you're holding it to the highest standard of our detail every single week and every single practice. But there's naturally going to be mistakes. So this is a constant quest for growth, because You always can get better. Like and that's my message to these guys as well, is like, we're going to make mistakes in this game. It's about having the mindset of, all right, they happen. Let's go out and play the next play, and let's go out and coach the next play. Because that's what puts you in the state of mind to make the next play and coach the next play. So detail will always be there. And then the other ones, it just depends on the week and how you go, but we're always focused on everybody, coaches, players, everybody, putting their head down, working, identifying issues, identifying things that are working for you, and getting better.
All right.
Nick Sirianni Live, presented by Premier Orthopedic.